how do we cut karmic cords in life, which are the connections, the attachments to some people from which we can't or we don't manage to distantiate ourselves. The majority of times are connections with beloved ones, so they are connections in relationships, ex-partners, relationships in which we have been involved, and for some known or unknown reasons, even if we are not in touch anymore, we are still connected, and we still feel that this presence is affecting our life, normally in a quite heavy and negative way. But it can also happen, of course, with friendships, with work relationships, any sort of connection that we have met. And we need to say, why do we say it's karmic? It means that, of course, we have already met, that we have already created a boundary. We have already connected in previous reincarnations, possibly in similar or different form. And as the word karma in Sanskrit means actions, our actions are connected together. So we are influenced, we are following each other somehow, and we seem to be linked and strongly attached because we have a lesson in common to learn, or each of us has different lessons in a common topic. So we are both teaching each other. So in some way, they are a form of blessings. So how do we cut cords? This is a process that can, of course, it's something that we can do in a one-to-one healing sessions, where it would be shamanically more bespoke to your situation, to what you need or who you need to release. But if this is a process that you feel ready to do it by yourself, you can start first of all deciding to take a proper time and space for this ritual, because it is a ritual. Possibly in a situation when you are on your own, with some incense, a candle, so creating a sacred environment, a sacred space. And then, if you are familiar with the practice, you can decide by lighting the candle to open the four directions of the space. So, greeting the east, the south, the west, and the north in your own way. You're just giving your own blessings and welcoming the directions with your spontaneous words from your heart, so that at least whatever you're doing is a sacred gesture. And then I would suggest to start with pen and paper to write down, visualizing first of all the person that you would love to cut the cord from, and then taking pen and paper, allowing yourself a few hours for this work. In the first part, I would suggest to practice a list of things for which you are grateful about this meeting with this person. So you are grateful because through this meeting, even if it was not pleasant, you have learned this and that. So you are, in the departing, you are taking some qualities, some characteristics that maybe you have gained through these relationships. And then separately on another paper, after you have really worked on this list for a long time, and being also aware before writing your list that you need to be quite calm. So I would suggest to, as an introduction, to do a short meditation or short visualization with this person, or also some breathing technique. So a very powerful one would be to use the breath work of the fire breath. So inhaling twice from your nose and once from your mouth. for at least 10 minutes. And this has the characteristic of taking energy inside your own body and reaching an altered state of consciousness. So in this way, when you are writing your lists, you are doing that not from a place of your mind, but from a place that is connected with the deepest part of you and connected with the divine. So then you write the list for the things you are grateful for, and then you can move to the list of the things that you're not taking with you. So those characteristics, those things that thanks not back to the receiver, back to the other person, to the situation, to the relationships that was with you. And then after you have finished, you can have both these pieces of paper in your hands, and placing them on your heart. You can repeat something that is similar to the Ho'oponopono, a very powerful formula of blessing, which would be: I thank you, I bless you, I forgive you, I love you, and I have faith in you. So it would be the formula of the Star of the 5 Points. Which means that you are still sending gratitude to this person, to the situations, to what allowed you and your soul to get some learning from. And then you can, if you have the opportunity during the ritual or later out in an open space, to burn the pieces of paper for the things that you don't want with you. And then you can decide still to burn also the elements of gratitude, or just keep that piece of paper with you, maybe in your altar, in your shamanic altar, or in a space that is still sacred, because you are still honoring this relationship, even if it didn't go in the expected way. And then you can call upon the force, the presence of the Archangel Michael, because he's the one with the sword and the blue cloak. So you can visualize, or you can search for an image of the Archangel if you are not familiar with him. Call him upon, just to have this presence of the Archangel next to you. And then you can visualize the image of this person in front of you, and you can imagine that there is an umbilical cord coming out from his or her own belly button, and yours as well at the same time, and they are meeting in the space in front of you and making a knot. So by holding your hands with that knot, you can also feel all the situations that come to your mind, to your heart in that moment. Can be either the pleasant one that you live together, or the unpleasant one that made you suffer, but it's still creating and evoking the spirit of this event, and allowing just not to filter, to have everything that comes to you in that moment, and then still showing gratitude, but saying that now it's the time to separate. Now it's the time to finish all the lessons that you both have learned, and continue your own life in an independent way. So then you can evoke the force of Archangel Michael, and you can imagine yourself. This is something, for example, that you can do shamanically. You can imagine yourself that you have a sword, so next to you, if you want to stand, and you imagine yourself that you have a sword, and then you could use a powerful Japanese mantra from the Japanese shamanism, which is made of the 2 syllables Ka and Ji, which means sun and moon. So you are evoking and connecting the opposites. In this case, you visualize still the other part as the opposite, but you are also including the whole universe and the whole nature. And then I would suggest you here again to raise your vibration, to raise your inner power, inner force, again with the fire breath. Moving your body, so you are standing, moving your body, and still visualizing the presence of the person in front of you. Ideally, you can have as a background the drum playing or some music that is still giving you a powerful energy, because you need energy to cut the cord. And then with your arm standing by your side, you can imagine to shout out loud Ka, in this case, and by doing Ka, you are still evoking these images, and then you shout out loud G, and with G you are cutting the cord in front of you, and then you imagine that the two cords go back to the different parts of the body, to their rhomboedicum, and you make a knot so that there is no wound, energetic wound that is coming out. This is a beautiful mantra that can also be used for different purposes, to change the meaning of an event, not necessarily to change the event, but to change the meaning of an event. But this is a very quick and powerful ritual. And then after you have finished that, do the operation of the cutting as many times as you feel in that moment, because you really need to feel that the energy is detaching from you and that there is nothing else that can affect you. And then you can imagine yourself that you are protecting your own body, your own aura with an invisible cocoon of energy, of protection. So you visualize yourself a cocoon of energy coming out, coming around your own body, for which you can evoke other angels, other guides, other allies, other spirits, the universe, nature, whoever you believe that can support you. And then you can just stay on your own for a few moments to feel that you are honoring this moment of cutting, which is not the moment of renewal yet. That will come afterwards, because like every healing, and you're doing self-healing on yourself in this moment, there is a time of integration. So allow yourself to be grieving, allow yourself to be listening and watching the space to whatever is coming in your life, without expecting a quick result, a quick happening, because there is always a time in which you need to allow yourself to do it. And then, of course, always remember to close the direction of the space. So you do the same process that you did at the beginning, but you say thank you to the direction of the east, the south, the west, and the north. We always start from the east because that is where the sun is rising and it's the opening gate. If you feel that the ritual has not been successful, there is when you would need a support, is where you would need someone to do it with you, because when we do that on ourselves, sometimes we are very much attached, and our body, our mind is very much too much involved in that situation. So this is for example where a shamanic practitioner could support you. This is where is one of the practices and rituals that I'll help people with, one of the most common ones actually, because we've all been in love, we are all in love, and sometimes when we need to separate by difficult relationships, especially those people that we feel already that we have met in other lives, and we keep going into these patterns of meeting and meeting again and entering in this cycle of suffering without actually learning and letting go, which is the hardest thing to do. So if you feel that you would love the support of a person, would love the support of a practitioner in this process, you can find on my website www.schoolofshamanism.co.uk the part related to the one-to-one healing sessions, which are available both online and in person in Edinburgh. And this is absolutely beautiful ritual that can be very successful and liberating for your own life.